friends, Count Vampires here for another horror review. Sorry it's been late this week, it's been kind of hectic. But today we're going to be looking at a very special character from one of my favorite horror movies. This was a spin-off or a spoof, we should say, of the movie Frankenstein. It's called Young Frankenstein or Frankenstein. That was produced by Gene Wilder. The movie came out in 1974, starring Marty Feldman, Peter O'Toole, Theygone, and Gene Wilder, the late and great Gene Wilder. The synopsis is an American grandson of the infamous scientist struggled to prove that his grandfather was not an insane person, as people believed. He is invited to Transylvania, where he discovers the process. Let me let the computer catch up here. That reanimated a dead body. A young neurosurgeon, Gene Wilder, inherits the castle of his grandfather, the famous Dr. Victor von Frankenstein. In the castle, he finds a funny hunchback called Igor, a pretty lab assistant named Inga, and the old housekeeper named Frau Brucke, which means glue factory. That's why when they mentioned the name Brucke, the horses would neigh. It meant glue factory, so the horses got scared. Young Frankenstein believes that the work of the grandfather is only crap. Excuse me. But when he discovers the book of the Mad Doctor described his reanimation experiment, it suddenly changes his mind. As expected, the researcher and physician Dr. Frederick Frankenstein, the grandson of the famous Dr. Victor Frankenstein, as they pronounced it, Frankenstein, who did experiment on bringing back the dead, tries to disassociate himself from his famous relative, even to the point of pronouncing the surname differently, as I had done, as Frankenstein. Regardless, Frederick was drawn back to small Transylvanian town, the castle where Victor conducted the experiments of leaving behind his somewhat standoffish and untouchable fiancée Elizabeth back in the U.S. He also slowly begins to get drawn to the research that his grandfather conducted. He eventually learns, not by accident, as Frederick tries to reanimate his dead subject with the help of the hunchback aide Igor, and his beautiful assistant Inga, who was played by Theygone, I must add. And let's see, rumors around the town of what is going on. They were trying to disassociate themselves from the work of the former Dr. Frankenstein generations ago. Inspector Kemp is tasked by stopping any work if it is happening. All these issues collided as Frankenstein and his team tried to hide their work from the inspector while hitting some technical roadblocks as Elizabeth comes to Transylvania and accidentally gets caught up in the experiment. And it goes on and on. So this is a very good movie. If you have not seen it, I do suggest that you watch it. The first time old Vampire saw this, I was a very young vampire, and I saw it in one of my classes. when I was in school. And yes, I'm getting ready to go hunting, so I figured I might as well do a quick review before I go out. But this character, he comes in a 2-pack, which I will show you a picture of. The Gene Wilder character, Dr. Frankenstein, or Frankenstein, is harder to find in a tuxedo. I have the one where he is in his lab coat. So I will review him eventually. And I have Igor as well, who I will review eventually. So let's go ahead and take a look at that picture. I will pull it up for you. Hold on. Now these special Mego 2-packs, they come with a Littl collector's coin, which is very nice. And people are separating these 2-packs and selling the characters individually to make more money, and they're selling the coin as well. Every coin is the same. They're not dated. They're not marked in any way, so the value really doesn't matter, as far as I could tell. So I really did enjoy this movie. It has a lot of campy humor in it. Now, one of my favorite scenes is where they're riding to the castle, and a werewolf howls, and Inga says, werewolf, or Frankenstein says, werewolf, and Igor says, werewolf, and I just thought that was funny. It's just little things like that, the stupid humor that made old vampire laugh. And they got to the castle, and let's just say that Frankenstein's girl, his partner, was very well endowed, and got to the house, and the house had big knockers on the door. He survived. What knockers? And she said, thank you. So it's just humor like that, very campy humor. So anyway, let's go ahead and let's look at this very nice action figure. If you're not very familiar with Peter, I keep on wanting to say Peter O'Toole. But if you're not familiar with this man, he plays in Everybody Loves Raymond. He is Raymond's dad. And Everybody Loves Raymond. That guy. So he played the monster in this movie. So let's go ahead and take a look at him. I save you the pain of making you watch me cut this open, but this is Peter Boyle. As you could see, this is how he looked in the movie. So looking at the back, he's an 8-inch figure with 14 points articulation. Special thanks to the consultant, Dr. Mego. The sculptor is Porek. And the seamstress is Brian Lettner. Very nice. Have a male seamstress. So let's just go ahead and open this up, if I can. If I could pull the tray out. Hold on. Okay, I got the tray out. So let's go ahead and look at his accessories. He comes with a top hat. This comes from their famous scene of when they're dancing to the song Putting on the Ritz. It's made out of a hard plastic. And then he comes with a baton. Or a walking stick. Painted white on both ends. Very nice walking stick. I turned the flash on so you could see it better. Let's see if it's measurable to the body. Yes, It is measurable to the body. So taking a look at the creature, you could see he has an incision across the forehead, right here, going down the frontal lobe and down across the temporal lobes. And you can see he has blue skin, black lips, wearing a bow tie, a vest, and a dinner jacket, a tuxedo coat, I should say, with tails, French cuffs, blue hands, articulated, of course. Look at that nice white satin vest. Very nice. He even has a white pocket square. Very nice, neat little dress shoes. Got the Don Johnson look, no socks on. Stripes down the pant legs. And he is really putting on the Ritz. And he and Gene Wilder did very well singing the song together and dancing. And his bit was, that's how he sang it. He was dancing and having a great time in this. The audience finally was catching on. Hey, he isn't a monster after all. He is human, but just a little bit different. Until the stage lights caught on fire and he freaked out, and everybody freaked out too. So this is a great action figure. Old Vampire likes it quite a bit. It's a great movie. If you haven't watched it, it's on YouTube. You could either rent it or buy it. It's very funny. It's done up in black and white, even though it was a semi-modern movie. It's only 48 years old. They did it in black and white to make it seem like the original Frankenstein. And Gene Wilder, was not Gene Wilder, but Gene Hackman even played in it. He played the blind man. And Frankenstein caught Gene Wilder's or Gene Hackman's finger on fire, trying to light a cigarette. And there's all kinds of funny things that happened during that scene. So please watch the movie. I highly recommend it. I give it 11 of 10 stars. It is definitely a must-see. This is a beautiful action figure. I put it in my display case. I like this action figure. He belongs with Gene Wilder. So if you guys like this figure, give it a thumbs up. Please give it a thumbs up anyway. It is cheap to do. Well, somehow the rest of the film got cut off, so it was just the end of my videotaping, saying be kind to everybody, be kind to yourselves, be kind to strangers. You never know what kind of day they're having, and be kind to animals. You never know what kind of day that animal is having. You know, somebody may have taken their bone from them and kicked them in the ribs. You know, just be nice to your animals. They know nothing but unconditional love. So anyway, this is Count Vampire signing off. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Please, it's very cheap to do. Joe Motion's very excited to give away the Ram Cycle G.I. Joe thing. And Vampire has some toys he likes to give away. So everybody be happy. So thank you very much, my friends, for tuning in the channel, putting up with old Vampire. And again, I'm very sorry for this being late. So you guys, you take care. Love you very much. Please leave me a comment. I love hearing back from you. Bye-bye.